All right, you joining this ride already in session. And what do we have here? We have the LiveWire, and that's right, LiveWire all on its own. As we pass by the Harley demos here, it is no longer the Harley LiveWire, and it also is no longer starting price near 30 grand. A much more, I don't want to say affordable, but a much more reasonable. I think it starts around 21K. And I mean, at that price point, to me personally, it was worth giving this bike another shot. I test rode this bike in San Francisco a few years ago when they were just releasing the LiveWire. When I say a few years ago, I think it was 2019. And so we're giving it another shot now and getting into it here. Now, if you've never ridden an electric bike, I would highly recommend it. Electric bikes are just a lot of fun. A lot of fun because you're not shifting, you're just twisting on that throttle. So you get to lean into turns, you get to enjoy the silence of the open road, which is a new experience for any of you who are just regular ICE internal combustion engine riders. The silence of the LiveWire makes a big difference, and especially, you know, if you're getting into like a real nice area where it's quiet, the silence of riding one of these makes a big difference. So here we go. You got a lot of extra controls here aside from what you get on a typical Harley, although we still have the left and right turn signals on their respective sides, one on the left, one on the right. On the left, we also have traction control, maybe on and off, your horn, and you got your high and low beams. And on the right, you've got your power button on the right, and then on the left side of the right controls here on the right, you have your hazards and then the power switch. Now, what's going to happen when you turn the bike on, these lights here on the edges are going to be red, and then when you're ready to go, after you've held down that power button, these are going to turn green, and then you're ready to ride. The difference between an ICE engine and an electric engine is that you can't twist that throttle so that you can hear the engine noise. You know how people like to do when they ride motorcycles. I'm no different. I want to hear that exhaust. I want to hear that engine purr before I hit the road. And so twisting that throttle is not going to do what you think it does. It's not going to let you hear that engine noise. All you're going to do is surge forward and probably be in a little bit of trouble. So weight specs on the Harley Davidson. See, I already did it. Weight specifications on the LiveWire are, as I'll show them here on the screen. It's a little bit heavy, in my opinion, for an electric bike. But what I will say about the weight is that it's distributed nicely. It has a good balance to it. It doesn't feel top heavy, and you know, there is something about having weight to a motorcycle. I've ridden electric bikes that feel a little too light, in my opinion. You get so much torque and so much power immediately on that throttle that on a more upright and a lighter electric bike, it can be overwhelming, I think. So the weight to the bike makes it feel a little bit more confident when you ride it, in my opinion, and it just oodles of fun. I wish that this test ride was longer. I wish that I wasn't riding behind all of these cars. But man, just a twist of this throttle, and you can hear it. And since we're not with anybody, I'm just going to go ahead and do a slingshot here, so you can hear and see the effect of twisting that throttle. Ooh, that is nice. That really is nice. It's an exciting thing. It's exhilarating when you ride an electric bike because all of that power is just immediate. Just getting down to the nitty-gritty of the bike, I wish the arms on these mirrors were a little bit longer. I see a lot of shoulder in these rear view mirrors, and so, you know, it detracts from what I need, which is to see what's behind me and on my sides and my blind spots. So it's something to take into consideration. maybe on model year 2022. Maybe this is 2020. In the next model year, something to take into consideration is make an adjustment here on these mirrors to maybe see a little bit better. As it is, I'm 5'6". I have a 30-inch inseam. The seat height on this bike is really nice. It's not too tall. Even though you want to lean forward a little bit on a bike like this, you're not, should have been looking for the arrows. This person's turned around here. But even though you lean forward on a bike like this, the ground isn't far away. I don't think I can get both flat feet down, but I can definitely get two good balls of my feet down. And because the more you get on your tippy toes, the less you feel secure when you stop the bike. Not a worry here. Just I'm trying to listen to the whir of this electric engine. I think some of it's produced. I don't think all of that is just engine noise. But it's kind of a cool sound. And I will attest that when you hear these things going down the road, even when you're in your car, you can hear them as they approach and as they pass, for sure. We're not talking about a completely silent engine, and its point of emphasis that Harley Davidson, when they owned the LiveWire, now it's branched off as its own kind of sister company or associated company. The LiveWire has that same sound, and it's a distinct sound, and it's fun. So I think when you think about batteries, and I'll put the specifications here on the LiveWire's battery, one of the concerns is heat from the battery. But I mean, it's completely air cooled, I believe, and I don't think that it's ever going to be an issue. If you've ever dealt with engine heat and exhaust heat on your typical ICE motorcycle, you're not. I don't think you're ever going to experience heat from the battery like you do from a typical engine on a motorcycle. So I really would have liked to have gotten into these turns, but the cars are preventing me. As it is, though, this bike feels very nimble, especially at a weight that's a little bit heavier, on the heavy side for an electric bike, but still, it carries that weight well, as I've said already. There's the blue arrow. Here's where we'll turn around. Okay, just trying to make sure that I'm following the rules. The LiveWire has it doesn't have a great range. I believe it's close to 200 in the city, and the range for, here we go. Oh, dang it! Highway patrol right there. I didn't stop there, but I don't think it's gonna matter. That was, yeah, he's not turning around. Okay, we're gonna get into this turn. Hopefully there's not one waiting for me up here, because I really wanted to get into these turns. I talked about how this bike was a bit nimble. We're gonna find out right now. Yeah, the nice thing too about the controls that are kind of right underneath you is that you can get a nice lean forward and feel the handling on this bike. It's excellent. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure there's no highway patrol, so let's just get into it here and listen to the engine noise and the speed. Here we go. Is this highway patrol? No, we're good. Here we go. Oh, I think top speed on this bike is 120 something miles an hour, and we didn't get close to that, but it is so immediate. And because of that, like I said, because of this lean forward, it doesn't feel overwhelming. I think you can get in trouble if you had a bike like this and it had typical like maybe mid or forward Harley controls, and maybe some risers that they just sit up more upright. That's where you can get into trouble, I think. I don't know if maybe in development, where Harley Davidson was still making the LiveWire, where they were thinking, we're not going to make some of the Harley fans happy, but again, I don't believe that there's any diehard Harley fans that were going to buy the LiveWire in the first place, which I think was a good decision on the behalf. I don't know who made that decision, but whoever decided that Harley Davidson should no longer be attached in name to the LiveWire, that's a good choice in my opinion. All right, So we're getting here, we're riding a little bit against the wind, I think maybe a little crosswind, and just having silence, and we'll just ride here for a second in the silence. It's nice, it really is nice, it's peaceful. It's a different feeling than when you're zipping around here with a loud exhaust, with a group maybe making a whole bunch of noise. It's a whole different experience. Maybe not a wholly different experience, like all new, but it is different, and I like it. So I noticed when I rode the Zero and we went downhill, the Zero maintained its speed as long as I left the throttle in the same place. I noticed that the Harley, as we're going down the hill here, and I'm leaving the throttle in the same place, that there is no governor or whatever whatever that mechanism might be to slow the bike down here as we go downhill. Yeah, and we'll get into it a little more as we get to the end of the ride. There's a downhill area, and we'll see how it does. And it's just something to make note of on a motorcycle you've never ridden before. So I talked about a 200-mile range in the city. The range on the highway is much shorter. I think it's around 70-80 miles, and there's a lot of chatter that I've seen online that say that's just not enough. And you know, I can go both ways with that. I can see where people want to get out into these mountain roads, these twisty, windy roads, and really experience this bike. And if you don't live close to it, you've got to go a ways, and then you got to recharge before you head out. But this bike, I believe, can take advantage of electric charging stations. You don't have to do it at home, and so that is something to take into consideration. You can take it out, charge it, and then take it out some more without having to head back home. But at the same time, I do get the fact that, you know, 70 miles, and we're getting generous here, because if you're going over 70 miles per hour, I'm guessing you're going to get even less. It's something to consider, definitely something to consider. I don't know how you can get more out of this battery, or if we can increase the life of the battery. All of this technology is just going to get better as the years goes by, but the range is definitely something of a concern, especially since this bike feels more like it wants to get out into some twisty roads in the mountains or in the canyons, and it's just not something that the battery life is built for at this point. All right, so we've seen how this bike fares in the high speed turns, and we've seen a little bit in slow speed. Yeah, the balance there is really nice as we slowed down to a stop there, and I didn't even have to put a foot down. So that's something that's of note. Slow speed turning, slow speed maneuvering, just slow speed, the balance of the motorcycle all on its own is very, very good. And maybe I talk about how exhilarating this bike is, and how just a twist of the throttle can get you going really up fast in a hurry. At the same time, if you're gentle on this throttle, the bike's going to be nice to you. It's not going to feel like it's too much. I will say engine braking is kind of much. It's a little much. Now here's what I'm talking about here. We're going to get down this slope. We're going to see if see, when I rode the Zero, that maintained the speed. The bike wants to pick up speed going down the slope. It's just something to take note of. But guys, if you have any questions regarding the LiveWire, make sure you leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them, and if I can't, I will make sure I hunt down that answer for you. If you like this video, found it helpful, make sure you hit that thumbs up down there, which is the like button. And if you haven't already, please smash that subscribe button. Guys, if you are out there riding, please be safe. Be kind to one another. My name is Eric. I'm that one guy. This is the LiveWire, and I am out.